The playoffs are here, and you can predict the action all the way to the finals with FanDuel Predicts. Predict the spread, the total points, and even the game-winning moments that make the playoffs. Sign up and get a $25 bonus with FanDuel Predicts.
Offered by FanDuel Prediction Markets, LLC, a registered futures commission merchant. 18-plus bonus is non-withdrawable and expires 7 days after receipt. Trading derivatives involves significant risk and may not be suitable for all investors. Manage your activity with their consumer protection tools. Restrictions apply. See terms at FanDuel.com/predicts/bonus-offer-terms.
Listen, all you New Yorkers. Taxi!
Okay, man, we're looking around.
This is the 77 WABC minicast.
Candace Owens having a conversation, just shooting the breeze with Hunter Biden, who represents one of the most corrupt men in American political history. And he's just making the rounds on allegedly conservative talk podcasts. It's really, really insulting to me. Well, I actually, you know who they should be sitting down with? Hunter Biden should be sitting down with Marco Polo, the great organization founded by my friend Garrett Ziegler. This man has been pursuing the truth about so many topics, especially the Bidens, and he's paid a price for it, oh, by the way. Garrett Ziegler, known to our cable news audience, and this show as well. Garrett, welcome back. How are you, sir?
Hey, appreciate you having me, and it's insulting to me as well. The idea that Hunter's father wasn't the golden boy of the CIA. Hunter's talking about the CIA when a bunch of current and former spooks wrote a letter saying that his laptop contents had all the hallmarks of a Russian information operation. The only reason Hunter has clothes on his back is because of the CIA's protection of Joe for 30 years.
It's incredible. Now, forgive me, I'm kind of burying the lead here. I did actually quote you extensively earlier. You have uncovered amazing information regarding the Bill Stevenson case. Bill Stevenson was married to Jill Biden. We all know the story about how he came out against the Bidens. He told the truth about how they really met. He documented the lawfare that was waged against him, kind of a prelude to what happened to President Trump. Right now, Bill Stevenson is in jail, accused of murdering his wife. And one other fascinating component here, both you and me, we have both met Bill Stevenson. We've sat down with him. We talked to him and the wife, Linda. Tell us, if you would, just what kind of precarious situation he's in regarding conflict of interest in that very tiny state of Delaware.
Well, the incredible thing is that Joe's tentacles reach deeper than perhaps any senators for any state in U.S. history, and that includes, Richard Shelby and all these folks like Richard Russell in the South who served for 30 years. Basically, no one has dug into this because the news media just jumped on the story that he got arrested. But we still, to this day, even left-leaning outlets like Chris Barish have admitted that we know absolutely nothing about the case. And the little that we do know is extremely concerning. Let's start off with the person that decided that Bill would not get bail. And that is a quote-unquote commissioner named Lynn Parker. And Lynn Parker is married to one of Joe's close political friends and allies, whose name's Charlie Oberle. And Charlie Oberle has been the U.S. attorney in Delaware. He's been the former AG in Delaware. He's been the Democrat nominee for the U.S. Senate in '94, and Joe campaigned for him. He would have been Joe's colleague, basically the junior partner for the state of Delaware. And so this is, of course, not surprising, but it just goes to show how brazen this is. They're really expecting nobody to write about this. And if it were not for you and me, nobody would. Nobody, not a single outlet in the United States has even asked for anything more than the one-page indictment. You know, all they're saying is that Bill Stevenson did knowingly cause the death of his wife. But there's no evidence presented in any of the charging documents. So, you know, one of the key ideas of the United States is that we're not to trust the government at its word, because governments are made up of sinful beings. And so all you and I are doing is looking under the hood and trying to figure out whether Bill is getting the constitutional protections that he's afforded as a citizen of the United States. One of those is not only an impartial jury of his peers, which will happen if he doesn't take a plea deal, which I hope he doesn't, but also that he has a, quote, effective assistance of counsel. I'm looking at the Sixth Amendment here. And the effective assistance of counsel requires that anybody representing you is impartial. And so not only do you have the commissioner who decided to set his bail at $500,000, and he's not a wealthy man, but the person one of the state-funded lawyers representing Bill is a guy named Ross Flockersy. And just like the Lynn Parker fiasco, Greg, his wife has a different last name. And Ross is married to a woman named Misty Siemens, who is the sitting governor's chief of staff, Matt Meyer. And Matt Meyer is very close with Joe. All of these names I'm talking about, they have been with Joe privately in person for hours. They fundraised together. And so I'm sure you mentioned this at the start of the program, but that 2022 hot mic incident with the mayor from Florida about how no one F's with a Biden, and by the way, I forgot to tell you last week when we spoke that the mayor of that Florida town, Fort Myers, received a copy of our book a week after Joe said that because it pissed me off so much, man. I hate that. I hate that because it said nobody F's with a Biden. Well, right now they're basically his buddies have been, I don't want to say judge, jury, and executioner because Bill is still very much alive, but they have gamed the system right now. Joe's allies are deciding whether he gets bail, and then are the people helping him in this case. You know, all we want right now is for Bill to get this information. And I guarantee you Bill knows about Charlie Oberle. Whether or not he knows Charlie's married to Lynn Parker, because these women have different last names, so it's not, it's not apparent. You have to have access to newspapers.com or PI databases to figure out, hey, these people are all living together. And one protection that's in the United States that's not in every country is spousal immunity. You cannot be forced to testify about conversations you have with your spouse. And so we'll never know whether or not they're sharing. I know they're prohibited by professional rules of conduct, but you know the left. Nothing is prohibiting them from just sharing all the case information with their spouses. So that was a monologue, but that is all news. Not a single outlet in the United States has picked up on this. And I hope to go see Bill in person. Like you've said many times on the air, I don't know what occurred, but I do know that Bill's a U.S. citizen and he's entitled to effective assistance of counsel and an impartial judge.